The air was crisp, biting at my cheeks and filling my lungs with a refreshing chill. Each breath I took was visible, a small cloud of vapor that quickly dissipated into the vast, open sky. The mountain stood before me, a towering presence that both intimidated and inspired. Sunlight glinted off the snow, creating a dazzling display of light that danced across the landscape. The snow sparkled like a field of diamonds, each flake catching the sun's rays and reflecting them back in a brilliant show of nature's beauty. It was a sight that never failed to take my breath away. It was a perfect day for a climb. The sky was clear, the air was still, and the mountain seemed to be inviting me to explore its heights. I could feel the excitement building within me as I prepared my gear, checking each piece carefully to ensure everything was in order. I never suspected it would become a fight for my life. As I looked up at the mountain, I felt a twinge of unease, a small voice in the back of my mind warning me to be cautious. But I brushed it aside, confident in my abilities and eager to begin the ascent. The mountain stood majestic, a silent giant against the horizon. Its peaks reached up to touch the sky, and its slopes were covered in a thick blanket of snow. It was a sight that filled me with awe and respect, a reminder of the power and beauty of nature. It beckoned me, as it always did, promising adventure and breathtaking views. The mountain had a way of calling to me, drawing me in with its rugged beauty and the promise of discovery. Each climb was a new experience, a chance to push myself and see the world from a different perspective. I was an experienced climber, familiar with the mountain's every curve and crevice. I had spent countless hours studying its terrain, learning its secrets, and preparing for the challenges it presented. I knew the risks, but I also knew the rewards, and I was ready to face whatever the mountain had in store for me. But the mountain, I would soon learn, still held surprises. No matter how well I thought I knew it, there was always something new to discover, a hidden crevice or an unexpected obstacle that tested my skills and my resolve. It was a reminder that nature is always in control and that I was merely a visitor in its domain. My backpack was packed with supplies: rope, ice axe, extra layers. I had everything I needed to tackle the climb, from the essential gear to the small comforts that made the journey more bearable. Each item had its place, carefully chosen and meticulously packed to ensure I was prepared for any situation. I had charted my course, a familiar trail I had scaled many times before. The map was a well-worn companion, its lines and markings, a testament to the many adventures we had shared. I knew the route by heart, but I still took the time to review it, ensuring I was ready for the journey ahead. There was a thrill in the air, the familiar anticipation of pushing my limits, of testing my strength against nature's might. It was a feeling that never grew old, a mix of excitement and nervous energy that fueled my determination and kept me focused on the task at hand. I set off, eager to meet the challenge. Each step brought me closer to the mountain, and with each step, I felt a sense of purpose and resolve. The climb was not just a physical challenge, but a mental and emotional one as well, a test of my endurance, my courage, and my will to succeed. The ascent was exhilarating. Each step forward brought me closer to the sky. The world stretched out beneath me, a vast panorama of snow-capped peaks and verdant valleys. The air grew thinner as I climbed. I could feel the burn in my lungs, the ache in my muscles. But these were welcome sensations, a testament to my effort, to my determination. I paused at intervals, catching my breath, taking in the breathtaking scenery. The world seemed to fall away, leaving only me and the mountain. Hours passed. The sun climbed higher in the sky. I was nearing the summit, the air thin and icy. My muscles screamed in protest, but my spirit soared. Then, it happened. The moment that every climber dreads. The moment that you think will never happen to you. But it did. It happened to me. In a heartbeat, everything changed. The sky darkened, the wind picked up, and the ground beneath me began to shift. It was as if nature itself had turned against me. The ledge crumbled beneath my weight. I felt the snow give way, the solid ground I had trusted so completely betraying me in an instant. I plunged down, down into the abyss. The sensation of falling is unlike anything else. It's a mix of terror and disbelief, a feeling that your body is weightless and heavy all at once. The wind screamed in my ears, a terrifying symphony of my doom. It was as if the very air around me was alive, mocking my helplessness. I saw flashes of white and blue, snow and sky, as I tumbled through space. The world spun around me, a chaotic blur of colors and shapes. My heart hammered in my chest. Each beat was a desperate plea for survival, a reminder that I was still alive, still fighting. Terror, raw and primal, seized me. Time seemed to distort. Every second felt like an eternity. Every moment stretched out in agonizing detail. Seconds stretched into an eternity. It was as if the universe had slowed down, giving me a front row seat to my own demise. My life, my entire history, flashed before my eyes. Every joy, every sorrow, every moment that had led me to this point played out in my mind. I thought of my family, my friends, all the things I had yet to do. Regret washed over me, not for the fall, but for the life I might never get to live. And then a strange calm settled over me. Amidst the chaos, a serene acceptance took hold. It was a moment of clarity, a realization that fighting was futile. It was a sense of acceptance, of inevitability. This was it. This was the end. But in that acceptance, there was also a strange peace. I was no longer afraid. I was ready to face whatever came next. I crashed onto a snowdrift, the cold biting into my skin instantly. The world around me seemed to slow down as I hit the ground, the impact driving the air from my lungs. The force of the fall left me breathless, my chest heaving as I struggled to draw in the frigid air. Each breath felt like a battle, the cold seeping into my bones. Pain shot through my body, a searing agony that threatened to consume me. It was as if every nerve ending was on fire, the cold amplifying the sensation. The agony was relentless, each wave more intense than the last. I could feel it in every fiber of my being, a constant reminder of my vulnerability. I lay there, gasping for breath, my vision blurring at the edges. The world around me was a haze of white and pain, the snow beneath me a cruel bed. My vision blurred further, the edges darkening as I fought to stay conscious. The cold was numbing, but the pain kept me tethered to reality. The world was a symphony of pain and white noise. I tried to move, to assess the damage, but my body refused to obey. My limbs felt like lead, heavy and unresponsive. I was trapped, pinned beneath the weight of the snow. Every attempt to move was met with resistance, the snow holding me in place like a vice. Panic welled up inside me, a suffocating wave of despair. The realization that I was truly alone, with no one to help, was overwhelming. The panic grew, feeding off my fear and pain. My mind raced, searching for a way out, but there was none. I was at the mercy of the elements. Despair settled in, a heavy blanket that threatened to smother me. I was alone, injured, and fading fast. The cold was relentless, sapping my strength with each passing moment. The world around me began to fade. The pain receded, replaced by a chilling numbness. It was as if my body was shutting down, conserving energy for a fight it knew it couldn't win. My vision dimmed, the edges darkening as the numbness spread. The cold was all-encompassing, a relentless force that I couldn't escape. Darkness crept in from the edges, threatening to engulf me entirely. It was a slow, insidious process, the light fading bit by bit until only darkness remained. The darkness was a welcome relief from the pain, a final escape from the relentless cold. I let it take me, surrendering to the inevitable. As the darkness overtook me, I felt a strange sense of peace. The pain was gone, replaced by a comforting numbness. I was no longer cold, no longer in pain. I was free. Section 5. A glimmer of hope. But then, a sound pierced through the darkness, a faint, rhythmic beeping. My heart leaped. It was my emergency beacon, a lifeline in the vast wilderness. Hope surged through me, chasing away the encroaching darkness. Someone, somewhere, might hear my signal. I might still have a chance. I clung to that hope, a fragile ember in the face of despair. The beeping continued, a steady pulse that echoed the frantic beating of my own heart. It was a sound of hope, of potential rescue, of life itself. It gave me the strength to fight, to cling to consciousness, to resist the seductive pull of oblivion. Section 6. The climb to survival. Every breath was a battle, every movement a monumental effort. But I was determined to survive. I had been given a second chance, and I would not waste it. I dug into the snow, my frozen fingers scraping at the icy barrier. It was an agonizingly slow process, each movement sending fresh waves of pain through my shattered body. But I pushed on, fueled by adrenaline and sheer willpower. Time lost all meaning. There was only the pain, the cold, and the relentless drive to survive. I repeated my mantra over and over: don't give up, don't give up. Section 7. Reaching safety. I emerged from the snowdrift, a gasping, broken figure, but alive. The world spun around me, a dizzying kaleidoscope of white and blue. But through the haze, I saw it, a rescue helicopter, its blades beating the air like giant wings of hope. They had found me. I had survived. Relief washed over me, so profound it threatened to drown me. I collapsed onto the snow, my body finally giving in to exhaustion. The last thing I remember was the sound of the helicopter blades, a deafening roar that sounded, to my ears, like a symphony. Section 8. The aftermath. The hospital was a blur of white coats and concerned faces, broken bones, internal injuries. The doctors told me I was lucky to be alive. But as I lay there, recovering from my ordeal, I knew it was more than just luck. It was the will to live, the refusal to give up, that had pulled me back from the brink. The experience had changed me. It had stripped away all pretense, all sense of invincibility. I had looked death in the face and emerged, not unscathed, but profoundly altered. Section 9. Life after death. My brush with death had given me a new appreciation for life, a profound understanding of its fragility and its preciousness. I vowed to live each day to the fullest, to embrace every moment, to never take a single breath for granted. I returned to the mountains, drawn back by the irresistible allure of the wild. But I climbed with a newfound respect, a deep-seated understanding of the power of nature and the fragility of human life. I carried with me the memory of my fall, a stark reminder of how quickly everything can change, of how precious life truly is.